Polar Peak's iceberg is breaking away and sinking into the waters below, causing mass earthquakes. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Season 7 video in Fortnite. We're talking about Polar Peak and about the evidence that is leading us to believe that Polar Peak and the iceberg is soon to break away from our main Fortnite island and sink deep into the ocean. There's been a few pieces of evidence that has flown around recently, suggesting that this actually might be happening. The first piece of evidence is the earthquakes. We've actually been talking about the earthquakes an awful lot recently, mostly about what is causing the earthquakes. We believed it could be lava under our Fortnite map, disrupting our world and melting the ice. We then believe it could be a volcano that is about to erupt. But it could also be the massive iceberg at Polar Peak slowly breaking away from the mainlands and sinking into the ocean. For those who haven't been following our earthquake theories, there's an awful lot of evidence to suggest that something is happening underneath our Fortnite world. But if we are to believe that this is being caused by Polar Peak, we have to ask ourselves why. Polar Peak is an iceberg. Icebergs tend to melt underneath, which is why there are loads of videos of icebergs flipping over. If the ground is heating up, maybe the iceberg underneath Polar Peak is melting, and as it's tearing itself away from the mainland, it's causing these earthquakes. This would also mean that the iceberg is going to start sinking, which will cause all sorts of devastating effects. We've also recently had a tweet from Donald Mustard. He releases these weird cryptic posts on Twitter, and he is an Epic Games employee. There isn't much to this post, but it's suggesting, as he always references Fortnite, this has to be a reference to two islands breaking away from each other. Exactly what we're expecting to happen to Polar Peak. And of course, we could wind ourselves back to very early on in Season 7, where players were able to glitch underneath Polar Peak and see what is hidden deep within the iceberg. In our investigations, we found a huge crack hidden deep within the iceberg, suggesting at some point, major cracks will start appearing at Polar Peak. We haven't seen these cracks yet at Polar Peak, but we're seeing huge, massive cracks all around our Fortnite map, caused by the earthquake. It would seem Polar Peak is the last place to be affected by this earthquake. Or maybe, deep within the frozen ice is the huge cracks that are about to start forming, indicating to players Polar Peak is breaking away. This theory ties in perfectly with the earthquake theory, and it actually makes a lot of sense. There's also evidence that players can see right now in the game that actually supports this theory. And with less than 14 days until Season 7 finishes, we know things are about to ramp up. Polar Peak is about to drop, maybe a floor drop, which refers back to our earthquake theories. If Polar Peak is about to floor drop into the ocean, then it might only be a couple of days until we see this happen. This town ain't big enough for the both of us, cause I'm the Ice King. I totally didn't max out my tier and pay $20 to do it. Nope, it was all legit. Just don't look at me like that. Okay, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Fortnite video. We're here at Polar Peak. Oh my god, look, suppressed assault rifle. Suppressed assault rifle. What is this game? We're back at Polar Peak and we're talking a bit about the earthquakes, but mostly about the fact that Polar Peak is actually melting and it's gonna melt into the ocean. When I shoot, you'll die! There's some serious amount of something going on. I'm not quite sure where it is. I think people need to calm down for one. Sorry, boys. Sorry to ruin your fun.
Why you bullying me? That doesn't make sense! I don't know!
There is a decent amount of evidence to suggest that some of the earthquakes are actually coming from Polar Peak. And as the ice is melting, it's slowly pulling away from the mainland. And obviously that's what's causing the rumbles. There's been a few signs of things suggesting that actually Polar Peak isn't going to be around next season, which kind of sucks. I spent a lot of time here at Polar Peak. It's kind of like my home, and it would definitely be sad to see it go. I definitely don't. I'm happy to see that go. Let's get that out of the way. What? See, I was thinking about this a lot, actually. If you, like, look, you can kind of see a sort of it's not that distinctive a line, but you can sort of see a line from where this massive island used to be. And it seems quite obvious. It's like it's almost melting more in those places. If this whole snowy biome is melting, I mean, where's it gonna go? It's probably gonna drop back off into the ocean where it came from. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a video of like an iceberg turning over, but apparently that's the thing that happens. Apparently it's a thing that icebergs, when they're floating around for a long time, the bottom of them start to melt, and then they turn over. Maybe underneath Polar Peak is actually melting away, right? And that's what's slowly making it fall apart. Hold on, boys, let me just outrun the storm. We landed at Polar Peak, so there's obviously going to be storm, obviously. You know, I was actually looking into it. Players that land at Polar Peak, on average, every player dies to storm. That's on average. Can you believe that? Yeah, every player. That's a fact. Oh, look at this dude. Nice. Oh my god, he's a god. He's actually a god. Yo, dude, can we go Polar Peak?
What?
It's Polar Peak.
Where's that?
It's the location that is called Polar Peak.
Oh, you mean Polar Peak?
Okay. It's a good start.
Did anyone else land here?
Not that I could see.
Oh, snap. He almost sniped me. He's gonna drop into the ocean?
Yeah, he's probably got no shield. I just headshot him twice.
He's gonna shoot that volcano.
Oh my god, we actually killed them.
Is it true that volcanoes are gonna be a thing, or what?
I'm pretty sure. So, you know the big mountain off in the distance? They say that's gonna be the volcano.
What about the earthquakes that have been happening?
Well, it depends what's causing them, right? It could be the volcano, or it could be what some people are saying is like, because Polar Peak's an iceberg, and icebergs melt, and they like drop off. It could be Polar Peak dropping into the ocean that's making the earthquakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy 110 all the way down there.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Yeah, we got guys right behind us as well.
There are broken planes?
Yeah, one's dropped out. Oh my god. Oh, please! Please show mercy!
What the hell are you doing, Francis?
Dude, I don't even know what just happened.
Alright, let's go push this toxic Deagle player, Lamaux. The Deagles are balanced, Lamaux.
I'm getting behind him. One down. Nice!
Nice, I got the other one.
We're actually gonna win this. This guy's pro.
Deagle's toxic. We have people inside the castle.
I'm gonna join.
They're toxic Deagle players, just letting you know.
Yo, I'm pretty far away from you.
Toxic Deagle players, by the way. Toxic Deagle players, by the way. Balanced, Deagles are balanced.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that guy's not on my team. Wow.
Deagles are so balanced, by the way. Deagles are balanced. Deagles are balanced. Deagles are balanced. Definitely don't nerf them. Deagles are balanced.
And so it begins. The end of Polar Peak. I'm just saying that I think Polar Peak is going to break off and begin to sink into the ocean. And we're literally like 2 weeks away from the end of Season 7 and the start of Season 8. I think we're about to be saying goodbye to Polar Peak and hello to probably something much, much worse. Good luck, everyone.